Hey everyone, I'm Ryan at Marine Parts Source, and today we're going to take another look at some of the work we're doing at our specialty services facility up in Port Huron, Michigan. Now for this project, we had a customer who brought us their 25-foot Hydra Sport, had a 200 horsepower Yamaha engine on it that they were just not happy with. It's requiring a lot of maintenance, a lot of expense to it, and they just really wanted to upgrade and get something that was more reliable and provided some more power. So we had the perfect solution in a 250 horsepower Suzuki motor. We wanted to get started by first just doing an overall inspection to see exactly what we had ahead for the project. Now, when we're doing a new Suzuki installation, there are a few things that we're going to install along with that engine. Things like the gauges on the dash, a new engine control, that sort of thing. But we want to also do an inspection to make sure that there's not any additional components that we need to replace as well that might be worn out, not working properly, and if there was anything that we need to replace. We actually found that everything was really top-notch and could be reused. We didn't have to go out and get additional components, even down to the hydraulic steering. We checked that out and it was all in good shape. So we were able to leave every bit of that in place and just take the motor off, de-rig it, and then get the new one installed. Now, if you've watched any of our Suzuki repower videos before, you know that we can do a lot of custom work to get the installation looking clean and really professional. In this case, there wasn't much custom work that was needed. All of the gauges fit the holes that were there from the previous gauge set, so they dropped right in. We were able to make the installation look nice and clean. Next step was just to mount the new Suzuki 250 horsepower motor, put that on the boat, and started the rigging process, connecting up the control cables, routing it through rigging tubes so to all be protected, and just getting all of that stuff connected, the wiring, everything like that, getting it connected to the engine side. One thing that we did replace on this project was the fuel system. We also put a new fuel water separator into the system. That's always a good rule of thumb. You want to have a remote fuel water separator just to make sure that that fuel gets properly filtered before it runs through your engine. Final piece to rigging the engine side for this project was just routing in the battery cables. Again, we didn't have to replace any. They were in good condition, so just route them through the rigging tube to the engine and away we go. Once we got done with the engine side, it was time to move to the dash and rig that up. So we put in all the new gauges. We had a tachometer, a voltmeter, speedometer, fuel gauge, and also a trim meter. So put those in there, wired all that up with the Suzuki wiring harness, and it was ready to go. We also installed a new engine control. It's the Suzuki branded control that comes with the engine package. It's a really sharp looking control. And we just connected up the control cables to it, connected it to the trim and to the safety switch, and it was ready to go. Now, even though this is a pretty straightforward repower job, it's still important that we did some thorough testing to make sure that everything was working as it should. So we get to do the most fun part of any project, which is to get the boat out on the water and conduct some sea trials. Now, during the sea trial, we're just wanting to pay attention to make sure that everything is working properly, that there's not anything that's happening that's out of the ordinary. So we're just checking all the gauges are working properly, responding as they should. We also are making sure that there's no water intrusion. We've always found at specialty services that it's best to keep the water on the outside of the boat. And we're also paying close attention to the engine, of course. We want to make sure that the engine is performing properly, getting the boat up on plane quickly, all those sorts of things. We work closely with Turning Point Propellers to get recommendations on the prop size and pitch and make sure that it's the right size for the boat and what performance is expected. Once we had that in place, we had a completed project, a happy customer, and another Suzuki repower in the books. If you've got a boat in the Michigan area and you'd like to conduct some sort of special project on it, give the guys at Specialty Services a call. Make sure to like and subscribe to this channel so you can continue to get this kind of great content and insight into some of the projects that we're doing. Thanks again so much for watching. We'll see you next time.